Make sure to subscribe our channel and press the bell icon to get notified about our future videos. To the questions. Question 1. Which argument helps prevent unexpected updates when calling Terraform registry modules? The correct option is C. Version. The version argument helps prevent unexpected updates when calling Terraform registry modules. It allows you to specify the exact version of the module you want to use. This ensures that your configuration consistently uses the same version of the module until you explicitly decide to update it to a newer version. Using the version argument is a good practice to ensure that your infrastructure remains stable and predictable, as it prevents unintentional changes caused by automatic module updates. Question 2. A senior admin accidentally deleted some of your cloud instances. What does Terraform do when you run Terraform apply? The correct option is C. Rebuild only the instances that were deleted. When you run Terraform apply after some instances have been accidentally deleted by a senior admin, Terraform will detect the differences between your desired configuration and the actual state of your cloud infrastructure. It will then take the necessary actions to reconcile the two. In this case, Terraform will identify that the instances were deleted and no longer exist in the state file. It will then create new instances to match the desired configuration, effectively rebuilding only the instances that were deleted. This approach is one of the key benefits of using Terraform. It helps maintain the desired infrastructure state even when changes occur outside of Terraform's control. Question 3. How would you output returned values from a child module in the Terraform CLI output? The correct option is C. Declare the output in both the root and child module. To output returned values from a child module to CLI, declare the output in both the root and child module. For example, child module.tf output child_foo value equals foobar. Main.tf module child source equals path/to/child output _to_CLI value equals module.child.child_foo. Question 4. Which of these is not a benefit of remote state? The correct option is B. Easily share reusable code modules. The answer is B. With remote state, Terraform writes the state data to a remote data store, which can then be shared between all members of a team. Remote states allows you to share output values with other configurations. For fully featured remote backends, Terraform can also use state locking to prevent concurrent runs of Terraform against the same state. Question 5. When using a remote backend or Terraform cloud integration, where does Terraform save resource state? The correct option is D. In the remote backend of Terraform Cloud. With a remote backend configuration or Terraform Cloud integration, the state data, which includes information about the resources managed by Terraform, is stored and managed in the remote backend or Terraform Cloud. This allows for centralized state management, collaboration, and concurrent access to the state file by multiple users or team members. Question 6. What does Terraform not reference when running a Terraform apply-refresh-only? The correct option is B. State file. The refresh only flag tells Terraform to skip the resource creation and update steps and only update the state file with the current state of resources in the cloud provider. This means that Terraform will not reference the resource definitions in the configuration files. since it is not applying any changes to the cloud provider based on those definitions. Question 7. You want to define a single input variable to capture configuration values for a server. The values must represent memory as a number and the server name as a string. Which variable type could you use for this input? The correct option is B, object. The object type in Terraform allows you to create complex input variables that contain more than one value and can be of different types. Variable server config, type equals object, description server configuration values. In this example, server underscore config is an object that expects two attributes, memory and a name. Question 8. Which command should you run to check if all code in a Terraform configuration that references multiple modules is properly formatted without making changes? The correct option is C, Terraform fmt -check -recursive. The Terraform fmt -check -recursive command checks if the files are formatted according to the Terraform language style conventions. The -check option will make the command return a non-zero exit code if any of the files are not properly formatted, and the -recursive option instructs it to go into the subdirectories as well, which is useful when you have a Terraform configuration that references multiple modules. Question 9. Which of the following methods used to provision resources into a public cloud demonstrates the concept of infrastructure as code? The correct option is B, a sequence of REST requests you pass to a public cloud API endpoint. You declare your desired config and then Terraform performs a sequence of API calls to your cloud provider. It is not a script with CLI commands. Question 10. You are making changes to existing Terraform code to add some new infrastructure. When is the best time to run Terraform validate? The correct option is B, before you run Terraform plan, so you can validate your code syntax. Running Terraform validate before running Terraform plan helps catch syntax errors, missing or incorrect argument declarations, and other issues before any changes are made to the infrastructure. Question 11. Which feature is not included in Terraform Cloud's free tier? The correct option is C, audit logging. Audit logging is not included in Terraform Cloud's free tier. Terraform Cloud is a hosted service for Terraform that provides remote state management, a private module registry, and collaboration features such as workspaces and version control integration. However, audit logging is not included in the free tier. Question 12. Which of these are secure options for storing secrets for connecting to a Terraform remote backend? The correct options are B and C, that is, defined in environment variables and defined in a connection configuration outside of Terraform. Question 13. Which of these commands makes your code more human readable? The correct option is D, Terraform fmt. Terraform fmt is used to format the Terraform configuration files, making them more human readable and consistent. This command applies a standard formatting style to your code, which helps to reduce errors and makes it easier to read and maintain. Question 14. How does Terraform manage most dependencies between resources? The correct option is D. Terraform will automatically manage most resource dependencies. About the incorrect options, option A is incorrect because Terraform does not use modules to manage dependencies. Option B is incorrect because the order that resources appear in Terraform configuration does not indicate dependencies. Option C is incorrect because The depends on parameter is used to explicitly declare dependencies, not to automatically manage them. Question 15. Multiple team members are collaborating on infrastructure using Terraform and want to format their Terraform code following standard Terraform style convention. How could they automatically ensure the code satisfies conventions? The correct option is A. Run the Terraform fmt command during the code linting phase of your CI/CD process. By running Terraform fmt during the code linting phase of your CI/CD process, you can automatically ensure that all Terraform files are formatted according to the standard conventions before any code is merged into the main branch. This helps to maintain a consistent code style and reduces the likelihood of errors caused by inconsistent formatting. Question 16. Which of the following commands would you use to access all of the attributes and details of a resource managed by Terraform? The correct option is B. Terraform state show. The Terraform state list command shows the resource addresses for every resource Terraform knows about in a configuration, optionally filtered by partial resource address. The Terraform state show command displays detailed state data about one resource. Question 17. You want to tag multiple resources with a string that is a combination of a generated random ID and a variable. How should you use the same value in all these resources without repeating the random ID and variable in each resource? The correct option is A. Local values. Local values. A local value assigns a name to an expression, so you can use the name multiple times within a module instead of repeating the expression. Question 18. While developing a virtual machine, the first launch user data script fails due to race condition with another resource deployed during the same Terraform run. What is the least disruptive method to correct the issue? The correct option is A. Run Terraform taint against the virtual machine's resource name, then Terraform apply. The script deployment will not have been tracked within Terraform and will therefore not rerun on the next apply command. The resource the script is running on will have to be redeployed to trigger the script to run a second time. At the least disruptive way to achieve this is with the taint command. Question 19. You have a list of numbers that represent the number of free CPU cores on each virtual cluster. What Terraform function could you use to select the largest number from the list? The correct option is A. Max bracket on num CPUs bracket off. Max takes one or more numbers and returns the greatest number from the set. Question 20. Which method for sharing Terraform configurations keeps them confidential within your organization, supports Terraform's semantic version constraints, and provides a browsable directory? The correct option is B. Terraform Cloud/Terraform Enterprise Private Module Registry. The Terraform Cloud/Terraform Enterprise Private Module Registry allows organizations to store and share Terraform configurations in a private and secure way. This method keeps the configuration confidential within your organizations, supports Terraform's semantic version constraints, and provides a browsable directory. Question 21. You add a new resource to an existing Terraform configuration, but do not update the version constraint in the configuration. The existing and new resources use the same provider. The working directory contains a .terraform.log.hcl file. How will Terraform choose which version of the provider to use? The correct option is B. Terraform will use the version recorded in your log file. When Terraform encounters a new resource that uses the same provider, it will consult the .terraform-log.hcl file to determine the version of the provider to use for that resource. This ensures consistency in the versions used across resources in the configuration and helps maintain reproducibility. Question 22. When do changes invoked by Terraform apply take effect? The correct option is B. Once the resource provider has fulfilled the request. Terraform waits for the provider to complete the infrastructure change before updating the state. Changes invoked by Terraform apply take effect once the provider has completed the request. Question 23. Which command lets you experiment with Terraform expressions? The correct option is A. Terraform console. You can experiment with the behavior of Terraform's expressions from the Terraform expression console. Question 24. What does running a Terraform plan do? The correct option is C. Compares the state file to your Terraform code and determines if any changes need to be made. It compares your current state with your desired state and generates a plan of action to achieve it. The plan shows you which resources will be created, modified, or destroyed. Question 25. What does Terraform import do? The correct option is A. Imports existing resources into the state file. It lets you target a resource that already exists and map it to a resource you have defined in code. Question 26. Which backend does the Terraform CLI use by default? The correct option is D. Local. By default, Terraform uses a backend called local, which stores state as a local file on disk. Question 27. What does Terraform refresh only modify? The correct option is D. Your state file. The Terraform refresh command is used to reconcile the state Terraform knows about with the real-world infrastructure. This can be used to detect any drift from the last known state and to update the state file. This does not modify infrastructure but does modify the state file. Question 28. A developer on your team is going to tear down an existing deployment managed by Terraform and deploy a new one. However, there is a server resource named aws_instance.ubuntu1 they would like to keep. What command should they use to tell Terraform to stop managing that specific resource? The correct option is C. Terraform state rm aws_instance.ubuntu1. The Terraform state rm command removes bindings from the Terraform state, causing Terraform to forget about existing objects. Question 29. What Terraform command always causes a state file to be updated with changes that might have been made outside of Terraform? The correct option is A. Terraform plan refresh only. A is the closest answer, but not quite the right command that would make the changes to the state file. It is Terraform apply refresh only. Question 30. When do you need to explicitly execute Terraform refresh only? The correct option is D. None of the above. The question isn't fully correct. The command is Terraform apply refresh only. You'd only want to do this in the place of Terraform taint, when you'd want the state to be the same as the real world infrastructure. Question 31. Which of the following is not considered a safe way to inject sensitive values into a Terraform cloud workspace? The correct option is A. Edit the state file directly just before running Terraform apply. Choosing A as it is not the right way to do it. Even though C is not preferred, I think you can do it as you are supplying it as a parameter during run and the file is local to the operator running the command and hence can delete it after that. Since we are talking about state being stored remotely, it works very much similar to option B. Question 32. Which of these actions will prevent two Terraform runs from changing the same state file at the same time? The correct option is C. Configure state locking for your state backend. If supported by your backend, Terraform will lock your state for all operations that could write state. This prevents others from acquiring the lock and potentially corrupting your state. Question 33. You want to define multiple data disks as nested blocks inside the resource block for a virtual machine. But Terraform feature would help you define the blocks using the values in a variable. The correct option is C. Dynamic blocks. Dynamic blocks allows you to define multiple data disks as nested blocks inside the resource block for a virtual machine by using the values in a variable. Dynamic blocks are used to create multiple resource instances from a single configuration block by iterating over the values of a list or map. Question 34. Which backend does the Terraform CLI use by default? The correct option is D. Local. By default, the Terraform CLI uses the local backend to store the state file. The local backend stores the state file as a file on your local file system. If you want to use a different backend such as a remote backend or other options like S3 or console, you need to configure the backend explicitly in your Terraform configuration files. Question 35. Define the purpose of state in Terraform. The correct option is A. State is used to map real-world resources to your configuration and keep track of metadata. The textbook answer. Terraform must store state about your managed infrastructure and configuration. This state is used by Terraform to map real-world resources to your configuration, keep track of metadata, and to improve performance for large infrastructure. Question 36. Which option cannot keep secrets out of Terraform configuration files? The correct option is B. Mark the variable as sensitive. Marking a variable as sensitive does not encourage it to be kept out of the Terraform files. It will only be omitted in stout or logs when the Terraform command is run. Question 37. Module version is required to reference a module on the Terraform module registry. The correct option is B. False. Specifying a version is not mandatory. When a version is not specified, Terraform just downloads the latest version. Question 38. Terraform destroy is the only way to remove infrastructure. The correct option is B. False. B. By commenting the resource block in the configuration file will also destroy the resources. Question 39. While attempting to deploy resources into your cloud provider using Terraform, you begin to see some odd behavior and experience slow responses. In order to troubleshoot, you decide to turn on Terraform debugging. Which environment variables must be configured to make Terraform's logging more verbose? The correct option is C. tf_log. You can set tf_log to one of the log levels, trace, debug, info, warn or error to change the verbosity of the logs. Question 40. What kind of configuration block will create an infrastructure object with settings specified within the block? The correct option is D. Resource. Resource block is used to provision the resource.